to let you know that every so often, once in a while, even though I've spelled for a very powerful internet signal and all things well with Google, every once in a while we get a little blip. So if we get a little blip, we'll come right back. So JJ Michael, I saw you at the Karibu bookstore and you were an amazing author. You are an amazing author. I said, wow, that author has her stuff so together. And that is quite true. All right, let's begin. I want you to get out a pen and paper. We're going to go on screen share and we are going to start. Oh, before we go on screen share, stay focused, Valerie. This 2015 is a strength year in the book of Tarot. This is a strength year. And I'll pull out my deck in a moment. My deck is right over there, and I'll pull out the deck and show you the strength card. So this year in 2015, because this is the first time that I'm addressing you in 2015, I want to send a powerful blessing your way for an amazing 2015, that you will make more money than you've ever made before in your life, that you'll have more success than you've ever experienced before, that you'll have more love than you've ever had before, that you'll have more good than you can imagine, and that it will all come to you in the most elegant, grace-filled ways that are easy breezy, and you'll love it and you'll have an amazing year. That's my prayer for you. So it's a strength year. Know that you have a lot of strength behind you and you have a lot of strength in you, and that is the universe calling you to something higher. Answer the call. Let's go on screen share and we are going to get started. All right. I'm praying that this will go really, really, really well. I'm knowing that it will go very well. I'm knowing that it will go very, very well. All right, here we are. 10 money problems Bitcoin eradicates. And if you're having any questions, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Okay, let's get started. First, there are 3 things I want you to know in this class. 3 things are required of you. 1, an open mind. If your mind is closed, you have permission to leave now. Number 2, willingness to do things differently. If you are resistant to change, you will have a hard time with what's already happening that we're going to be talking about in this class. If you are stuck in your ways of doing things, stuck in a rut, you're going to have a hard time. Number 3, third thing I ask of you is the ability to take action. If you can't take action, it's time for some serious self-examination. As you know, I'm a coach, and I had a client who was really challenged in taking action, and it was a problem for her, and it was really a deep inner experience of low self-doubt, plaguing low self-doubt, just could not believe in self. So if you find that you can't take action, then it's time for some serious self-examination so you can find out what's at the root of that. Call me, I would love to help you. Who am I? Reverend Valerie Love, freedom purveyor, Christian witch, abundant living enthusiast, and divine midwife of the soul's destiny. I am a minister of spiritual consciousness, a spiritual life coach, inspirational speaker, and author of 11 books on practical spirituality. Yes, that is 11. It's not a typo. I love writing, and so that's what I do. Who am I from the financial planning perspective? I have been an American Express financial planner for 7 years in my former life. I was an American Express financial planner for 7 years from 1997 to 2004. I was a licensed stockbroker, a securities license, they call it. I am a former licensed life and health insurance agent. I have sold life, health, disability, and long-term care policies, millions of dollars of life insurance. I am an award-winning trainer and top producer with Financial Destination in the years that I was a trainer and a top producer with Financial Destination, FDI as we call it. And I have 20 years plus years of experience of studying and investing in financial markets. That includes stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, that's exchange traded funds, UIT, unit investment trusts, REITs, that's real estate investment trusts, Forex, and more. Forex, foreign exchange trading. Extensive experience with retirement plans, including Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, SEP IRAs, 401k, 403b, cash value life insurance, TSP, that's thrift savings plan, CSRS, FERS for our federal employees, and a lot more. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to money. Okay, I just had to give you that for some credibility, because some people will be watching this video, they're like, who's this lady? Well, that's now, there you have it. Who am I? I am a spirituality and money gal who cares about freedom and abundance for all. That's really who I am at my core. My life is about freedom, and my life is about teaching others about freedom, setting people free. I have a very strong Harriet Tubman strain in myself. Why am I doing this class? 3 reasons. One is my destiny. It's just my destiny to teach people. Number 2, it's your destiny. It's your destiny to learn what's being shared here. And number 3, let's do this together. Let us do this together. Now, before we go further into tonight's class, I do want to come off screen share for a quick moment so I can just check in with you and make sure that everything is flowing well. And hopefully I've got the correct screen up. So let me go back and see if I can get this perfect screen for you. Let's go back to if I can get this right screen for you, because I have a feeling that maybe we were watching a different screen. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's the screen I wanted you to see. The miracle of technology. All right, so you are on the correct screen share. So that's what I just want to give you the heads up on what's going on here in class. So first, as I shared with you, we've got 3 things that are required for this class: an open mind, willingness to do things differently, the ability to take action. Who am I? Reverend Valerie Love, freedom purveyor, Christian witch, abundant living enthusiast, and divine midwife of the soul's destiny. I am a minister of spiritual consciousness, a spiritual life coach, inspirational speaker, and author of 11 books on practical spirituality. And as I said, I have all of this experience in financial markets. There you have it right there if you want to see a little bit of a bio on me. Really, at the core of it, I'm spirituality and money, and I care about freedom and abundance for all. Freedom and abundance for all. The reasons I'm doing this class is, as I said, it's my destiny to teach, to share this information. It's what I love doing. It's your destiny because we met. So let's do this together. What is Bitcoin? So I got this email the other day. It was rather comical. And I get lots and lots of emails from viewers. I love you, YouTube. I love you, Google+. I love all my friends and family that support all the shows that we do and everything that we do. I love you so much. One of the comments that came to me is, Bitcoin, isn't Bitcoin something people use to purchase illegal stuff on the internet? And I was like, no, oh my God, no. And I do want to remind everyone present that I don't purchase anything illegal anywhere. I'm not trying to purchase anything illegal. And if you really think that Bitcoin is about purchasing illegal substances such as drugs or anything else illegal, I do want to let us know that more drugs and illegal substances are bought with the US dollar, I believe, than any other currency. So I wouldn't really be too concerned about that, okay? Other people buying illegal things with the dollar doesn't stop you from using the dollar. All right, for purposes of this class, Bitcoin is 3 things. 1, it is a decentralized, and I'm going to explain this in a moment, a decentralized, distributed, let's go back, a decentralized, distributed peer-to-peer network that uses a protocol or a language to reach consensus, thus eliminating the need for a trusted third party. Hold with me for a minute. I'm going to come off screen share. We're going to have a conversation about this whole decentralized, distributed peer-to-peer network. Number 2, Bitcoin is a currency, like a form of money, Bitcoins or BTC for short. Bitcoin also can be treated as an asset. So I'm going to tell you about that from the investment standpoint in a moment. Now let's come off screen share for a moment because I want to come up so I can look you right in the eye so that we can talk about what it means when I say decentralized distributed network, a decentralized distributed network. Decentralized means it works just like the internet. There's no boss of the internet. There's no boss of Bitcoin. There's no president of the internet. There is no place where the internet is kept. There's no place where you can go, no central organization that controls the internet. Bitcoin works exactly the same. There's no boss of Bitcoin. There's no central agency or organization that controls Bitcoin. It is completely decentralized. Think of it like the internet. The internet is completely decentralized. If we asked you where is the internet, you wouldn't be able to point to a building and say it's there. The internet is everywhere. It's decentralized. The same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin lives in the internet. So you would imagine that if we had the internet, it would only have been a matter of time before the internet created its own money. Yes, yeah. Isn't that great? Yay. Now, that means for the first time, you can actually choose your currency. And this is for everyone all over the planet, from A to Z, from America to Zimbabwe. So if you live in America, you can now choose your currency. You don't have to use the US dollar if you don't want to. We call it fiat money, which we'll talk about more in a moment. And from all the way to Zimbabwe, where there were starving billionaires, you'll see that video on my YouTube, starving billionaires, literally a sign, starving billionaires. From A to Z, all over the world, you can choose your currency. Do you see why I'm so excited about this? This is something that has never happened before. This is something that we could not have even done before. This is something our consciousness has now ascended to the place that we have created a global money that works everywhere. Everywhere the internet is, that's where Bitcoin is. Hallelujah. Now, I'm a money gal, so I understand the implications of this. Now, let's go further. Let's go deeper. So that's decentralized. It doesn't live in one place. It's everywhere. Next, what does protocol, reaching consensus, and eliminating the need for a trusted third party? Here's what it means. If you want to send money from one person to another person, unless you are in the presence of that person and you give them $1 directly or they give you $1 directly, there is no way that you can do that before Bitcoin without a third party in the middle transacting the business, either the bank or Visa, MasterCard or PayPal or Western Union. There was always this middleman, whom I call a middleman, truth be told, this middleman who was in between you and the person you wanted to send money to, right? So here's you want to send money. Here's the other person who's going to receive the money. And then there's the middleman. Well, since this man is in the middle, or woman, organization, entity is in the middle, doing this back and forth for you, receiving the transaction from this person, giving it to this person, they're going to charge fees. More about that in a moment. Are you with me? Comment, chat, talk to me. Back on screen share. Don't you love this class? I do. Okay. So here we are back at what is Bitcoin. So you understand more about Bitcoin now. It's a decentralized, it doesn't live anywhere. It's everywhere where the network is, where the internet is. It's a peer-to-peer network. That means it's you to the person. No middle party. No trusted third party required. It's also a currency. It's also an asset. Let's go further. Now, what does a decentralized distributed peer-to-peer network mean? Well, it means three things. One, no one's in charge. Two, there is no central location, which we already talked about. And three, transactions take place peer-to-peer with no middlemen, or as I say, middlemen. What is currency? Because the second thing that we could call Bitcoin is a currency. We'll use the word currency in this context to simply mean a medium of exchange. So we will speak of two types of currency: fiat currency, which is centralized money by royal decree. So centralized money means a US dollar. It was made by the central bank of the US, and it is valuable only according to the decree and our faith in it. That's called fiat. It has nothing of inherent value in it, and there is nothing backing it for its value. Bitcoin is decentralized money by math. That's what Bitcoin is. It's not centralized money by royal decree. It's decentralized money by math. Let's go further. What is the protocol or language that Bitcoin uses? Math. It's all math. It's numbers. And as JJ Michael would say, it's numerology. It's all math. And it's run and secured and created and grown by super duper computing power. That's the simplest, best way I can say it in non-techie terms. I'm sure the tech nerds will watch this and say, well, it's not actually like that. It runs on this and this and blah, 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 blah. I don't know all those things about it. I don't have to know all the tech side about it. Here's what I want to tell you. When you say, I don't understand that, Val, well, let me ask you a question. Do you understand HTTPS? Can you tell me how that works? I can't. I don't know anything about HTTPS. Probably not, but it doesn't stop you from using the internet. I understand that when you put in something in Google search, you're using HTTPS. But who the heck knows what that is other than the wonderful tech people that work with it and create wonderful things from it for us who don't know what it is to use? We just use it. You go to Google, you type in what you want. You go to Yahoo, you type in what you want. You go to any search engine, you type in what you want. You go to where you go on the internet, you do what you have to do on the internet. You do it all with no understanding whatsoever of HTTPS. Same thing with me. Same thing is true of Bitcoin. To understand it, just use it. Use it. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm coming off screen share for a moment to share this with you. It's a personal experience I had the other day. And this was quite incredible. And I'm going to check our chat too in a moment. This was quite incredible. The other day I sent some Bitcoin. Do you know how long it took for it to show up? I was literally watching it from one place to the other place. Do you know how long it took for it to show up? Seconds. It was like I pressed the button here and it left here and was over here seconds, virtually. Now, if you are not yet aware of the implications of that, by the time we finish this class, you're going to be a changed human being. I hope I fry some brain cells and make you say, oh my God. Yeah, that's my goal. Let's go back on screen share. So that's how you find out more about Bitcoin. Use it, okay? Use it. Let's continue on screen share. We got the 10 problems coming up, all right? Now, you've agreed that you're simply going to use Bitcoin. You're going to use it. Let's go to the next. Money problem number 1. Here's your 10 money problems that we're going to solve. We're going to solve these money problems for you tonight, boo, like I said. Money problem number 1, help. I want to send $500 to my sister in Ghana and Western Union is trying to charge me $80. Ever been there? You want to send something like $400, you got to spend $70 or $80, $500. It is absolutely ludicrous how much money Western Union is charging to send money to people. Well, Bitcoin solves that problem. You know why? Because Bitcoin is borderless. That means it doesn't have any borders. Remember, it lives in the internet. It can go from Ghana to America to Canada to France in seconds. It's frictionless. That means it doesn't have any friction. It's not hard for this to do that. And it's instant. Happens in a matter of seconds. And usually the confirmation is only a matter of minutes. You can send value to anyone on the planet instantly for pennies, not $80, pennies. Now, denomination doesn't matter. You can send 50 cents as quickly and as cheaply as you can send $1 million. Bitcoin solves the problem, of remittances. The remittance business is huge. And unfortunately, this is one of the things that excites me so much about Bitcoin, that this remittance business hits the poorest of the poor people in the union and send 80 bucks, pay 80 bucks to send 500 bucks because they don't have a choice, because Western Union is their only option. And Western Union is enjoying being a middleman or middleman in your business. Well, guess what? As of this moment, no longer is that the case. I'm going to show you how to simply start using Bitcoin. Send somebody money tonight in Ghana, Canada, France, doesn't matter where, in seconds for pennies. Money problem number 2, help. My bank account is overdrawn and the bank keeps hitting me with fees. Oh my goodness. Have I heard this one from people? Have I been there? Bitcoin is transparent and consensus based, which means you can't overdraw your account. You can't overdraw Bitcoin because you're sending one person something and it's all transparent and it's all consensus based, means it's open and visible to everyone. Any transaction that attempts to spend more than you have would simply be thrown out by the network as not valid. No fees, no worries. You can't spend more than you have. Only a bank lets you do that so that they can charge you an exorbitant fee on what has been considered a quickie loan. That's really what it is. It's an overnight loan. And let me go back to this for a moment. When you overdraw your bank account, the bank is not actually sad about that, because the banks in the US, I don't know about abroad, count on billions of dollars of revenue from overdrawn fees. And there are some banks that have a habit or practice of processing your transactions in such a way that increases the likelihood that you may overdraw your account. For instance, if you charge, let's say if you debit 4 items from your bank account in one particular day, and let's say the highest one was $200 and the lowest one was $5, a drink at Starbucks, and the highest one was $200, maybe paying cable bill. It will not put them in order of how you charge them. It will put them in order of largest first, which is a little known secret at banks that will help you hopefully overdraw your bank account so that they can whack you with $35, $35, $35, $35. Well, Bitcoin solves that. You don't ever have to have that problem ever again. Money problem number 3, help. No matter how hard I try, I can't seem to get out and stay out of debt. Is debt your problem? Debt, can't get out of debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, house debt, car note debt. Oh my goodness, the list is endless. I made a conscious choice and a decision. I was going to dig myself out of all the debt I had. I got rid of the car loan debt. I got rid of the house debts. I got rid of the credit card debts. I just got rid of so much debt. And I decided I was not going to sign on the line and keep taking on more debt. This whole debt thing was getting out of control. Well, in the fiat currency world, here's the equation. Money equals debt. In the Bitcoin ecosystem, this is the equation. Value equals value. So debt is not a core component of Bitcoin like debt is a core component of the banking system. Now let's come off screen share for a minute. I'm going to check for some comments here. I want to hear from you. And I want to see how we're doing with our comments. Oh, first, let's come off screen share first of all. And let's go check on our comments. Because this, let me tell you something. When I discovered this information, it was so mind-blowing that I knew I had to tell you about it. I knew I had to tell you about it. I could not keep my mouth shut. I couldn't. Even if they paid me, I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut about this information. So let's go to our uh, see what's going on with our classes. Hello. Hey, nobody's got any questions? Come on, peeps. Questions, questions, questions. Talk to me. I would love to hear your questions. I would love to hear your questions. Okay. So send me your questions and let me know what's going on. And if you don't have any questions, give me your comments or give me what it is that you plan on doing now that you're learning this information. So let's go to one other thing I wanted to share with you about this whole experience of banking in America. Remember, and this could be all over the world. Perhaps it is not all over the world. Perhaps it's only in, certain places. In America, money equals debt. When a bank has money, they don't want to keep that money. They want to get loans rather than the money. So they get rid of the money by loaning it to people. So for a bank, money equals debt. That's how they make money. So if the system that we work with is a system that says money equals debt, then obviously if they're profiting from that, they will try at every opportunity for you to get into debt. That, coupled with the quantitative easing of the fiat currency system, which is very debilitating to wealth, is a quiet thief of your wealth, stealing away, not money, value. Stealing your money's value little by little. So you're this hamster on a hamster wheel having to work harder, 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 harder for not much more money and for not much more value. And after all of that, at the end of the day, you find that you are deeper in debt. Why? Because that is the design of the system that is currently operating. No hate on the system. I say no revolution is necessary. Evolution, not revolution, evolution. Evolve your consciousness. When you evolve your consciousness, you rise above anything that we created in our old consciousness of greed, fear, intimidation, the few having many instead of abundance for all. It's simple. Don't get mad. Don't hate, as I say, don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate anything at all. Decide that you're going to take this valuable information and you're going to do something with it. That's the key. Decide. All right, let's go further. Let's go further. So we're back on screen share. And this time, let's be sure I have the correct screen share here. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for being so patient with me. Okay, here we are. So let's go to money problem number 4. Help. Don't you love these problems? Help. No, you don't love these problems. You want to get rid of them. That's why you're here in this class. Absolutely. And I'm here to support you in getting rid of them. Money problem number 4. Help, my assets were frozen. This happened to somebody very close to me not too long ago. He goes to the bank and he discovers, much to his chagrin, that his whole bank account was emptied out, assets frozen. It was pretty horrible, and especially because he was writing checks and things on his account. And of course, then he ran into the bank overdraft thing and also into a lien fee. Now, it turned out that they were not supposed to debit the money out of his account, that they did debit out of his account. But for several weeks until they put the money back into his account, until he was able to get it all straightened out and actually have the money go back into his account, his assets were frozen. His money was gone. So assets frozen or money swiped out of your bank account because of liens or things like that. Well, that can't happen in Bitcoin because, once again, you can't overdraw your bank account and you are not really in a place where anyone knows where your Bitcoin are and therefore cannot access them if you don't give them access. It's as simple as that. Help, number 5, money problem number 5, help, my identity was stolen. Oh, what a headache. Bitcoin doesn't need your identity. It only needs addresses to work. I send Bitcoin from one address to another address. An address, I'll show you what an address looks like. If you want to come with me over to valerielove.com, and when we go over there, let's click on that. It's going to bring up for us my website. It's going to take a second. This connection is running a little bit slow, but that's okay. It's coming up. So when you go to valerielove.com, you're going to see there, Become a Money and Wealth Coach. I absolutely want you to join us because we start this Wednesday. A new class starts this Wednesday. Hop in. But what I was looking for is I want to show you a Bitcoin address so that if you look under money and you come down to, just click on money and you come down to 10 must see Bitcoin vids. You see that? You with me? Click on that. And when you click on that, I want you to absolutely watch these Bitcoin vids. Here is a Bitcoin address. So you see this right here? 1EA. Do you see this thing right here? Let's highlight it for you. This thing right here. That is a Bitcoin address, 1EAAAZCG74. Now, who knows what that is? Nobody knows what that is. If I give you that, or if you just copy this into a browser, you can actually send money to this as address. So this is what Bitcoin addresses look like. And you're used to it if you work with Bitcoin. If you don't work with Bitcoin, you're not used to it. But I'm here to open our eyes to how we can use it and how we can use it a lot more and a lot more frequently. So there you have it. Oh, phone. We'll do that another time. Anyway, so there we have it. That is a Bitcoin address. So let's close that and let's close that. It's so funny that somebody's calling while we're in class. But anyway, I got to remember how to silence that. Anyway, help, my identity was stolen. Bitcoin doesn't need your identity. It only needs addresses to work with a minimal amount of identifying information, which allows you to own your privacy. I'm not saying you want to have your privacy because you want to do illegal things. I'm saying that privacy is important to you. It's important to me. I don't want the whole world knowing everything I'm doing, and they don't have to, right? They don't have to. All right, money problem number 6, help. This is one of my problems right here. PayPal is charging me 3% to process payments. You ever been there? You got a credit card company, or you've got a merchant processor, or you've got PayPal, and people pay you through it. And the middleman in the middle takes 3% or more of your hard-earned marketed money. And guess what? They didn't do anything to get that client. But now all of a sudden, they are getting more. They're getting paid from the client before you even get paid from the client. Isn't that interesting? They get their cut before you even got your cut, and you're the one that brought the client. I never understood that about PayPal, and I never liked it. So guess what? I will be exiting PayPal. Yay! By the end of 2016, by the end of next year, we're giving our companies next year to completely exit fiat currency. We'll no longer be accepting any fiat currency. We will be all Bitcoin. Bitcoin is incredibly cheap. So PayPal is the 3%. One person can send value to another person for pennies without credit cards, processing fees, or banks. Middlemen are expensive. With Bitcoin, no third party is required for a transaction. The tendency toward rent-seeking behavior is eradicated. And if you don't understand any of that, please, by all means, chat and give me your feedback. Money problem number 7, help. I want to charge 25 to 50 cents per blog post, but can't process charges that small. Now, see, credit card companies are not going to process payments that small, and certainly not PayPal, but there are places for micro payments online. Well, Bitcoin handles micro payments with ease. You can send and receive 5 cents worth of Bitcoin to anyone instantly and even profit with tips. As you can see, tips. I got a tip from Bitcoin. It was a tip of Bitcoin. It was so lovely to know that someone went to YouTube, they saw a video, they sent me a tip. How lovely is that? Credit card companies are not equipped to handle micropayments. Bitcoin lets you profit even in tiny increments. Just set up a tip, Bitcoin tipping. through changetip.com. I'm not recommending it. I'm simply telling you about the service. You do your own due diligence on the service, and you'll be able to receive tiny tips, micropayments. Now imagine if you wrote a lot of content on your blog, and imagine if you had 20 blog posts, and imagine if every day on your 20 blog posts, you got, I don't know, $1 to $5 each blog post. Well, in a day, what does that add up to? And in a month, what does that add up to? Maybe eventually you could build it up to where you could live on that, make thousands of dollars in Bitcoin tips every month. You could set it up that way if you wanted to. Money problem number 8, help. I have to wire money and the bank says it will take 3 to 5 business days. What a joke. What a joke. Why are we in the 21st century of humanity? I have to come off screen share for a minute to ask you this question. Because this puzzles the life out of me. Maybe not the life out of me. This puzzles me beyond understanding, okay? This puzzles me quite a bit. Here is my question. Why is it that in the 21st century, it takes 3 to 5 days to send any amount of money anywhere? Why would that be? With the internet. Now, I could understand that in the 1950s. I could even understand it in the 1960s or the 1970s or the 1980s. But since we've had the internet now for a good 20 years, and since the internet has grown up to be such a wonderful, useful experience of life, which we wouldn't be able to do this class right now if it were not for the internet, why would it be that it would take 3 to 5 days to send money to anybody anywhere on the planet? Well, here's why. Because the people who are the guardians and custodians of that system are all joined together in an oligarchy, and they have decided you can't open a bank. Probably I can't open a bank because it takes tons of money to open the bank, and you need to be with the people that would open a bank, right? And the Federal Reserve, it's extremely prohibitive to open a bank. So it's not something that a common person would do, right? A common person like you or I, we wouldn't open a bank. Well, the people that are the keepers of the old way of doing things, the old way of doing money, are the ones who set the tone in how things happen. And if they're all working together, I'll tell you right here, right now, there is no difference between M&T, PNC, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. You think they're different banks? They're not. They're one bank. It's one big bank. There are not different banks. So people, they go to this bank. Oh, well, let me see what the interest rate is. Well, they give you a little bit on interest rate and take a little bit more in fees. Oh, well, let me go over here and see what this is. Well, they give you $50 to open an account, but they take this from you in fees or spreads. There's only 2 ways banks make money: fees and spreads. That's it. That's it. Either they charge you a fee for something. If they don't charge you a fee, they get a spread. A spread means they take in money at this lower rate and they give out money at this higher rate. And what they make in the difference is theirs to keep. So if they take in money and they give you 1% on your interest-bearing savings account, how ridiculous is that? Why are people still doing that? I don't know. 1% on your savings account and they loan out that money at 14%, they get a 13% spread. Yeah, they give you 1%, but they get 13%. You like that deal? Well, if you do, keep putting your money in banks. I don't. Let's go back on screen share. And I pray that this information is opening your eyes. I pray that it's opening your eyes. So in this internet age, there's no reason why any payment should take 5 days. I don't understand that at all. Any amount of money. I don't understand that at all, because wouldn't the internet seem to make everything move a whole lot faster? Well, like I said, if you belong to the oligarchy, the banking system, because there's no competition, Wells Fargo is the same as M&T, is the same as PNC, is the same as Bank of America. They're all together. So there's no competition. They're all doing everything the same exact way. And there is no impetus. There's no incentive to bring the banking system into the 21st century, because it suits them to hold your money for 5 days. It doesn't suit you, but it suits them. And if you keep doing it, well, they're going to keep doing it. You can change that. because you have the power, because you are a sovereign being. Bitcoin is instant. So because Bitcoin is instant and cheap, it doesn't concern itself with time or locations like banking hours. There's no time zone differences to concern yourself with. The blockchain, in other words, this mutual place where it all unfolds, confirms in 10 minutes, or for 6 confirmations, the most it'll take is an hour. Well, I think an hour is a big difference from 5 business days, 3 business days. I mean, in this 21st century, if there were no competition in the phone industry, we would still be talking on home telephones with a cord on them, with no mobile phones in our pockets, with a few people on the planet having those enormous mobile phones that they used to have in cars, a car phone that came in a bag. That's what it looks like when there's no competition. Because of competition, I have right next to me this very wonderful iPhone that is just lovely. Okay, so which would you choose? No competition of the banks, and your transactions are acting like they are from the 19th century when this stuff was invented, or competition where you have an iPhone. Okay, Bitcoin is like the iPhone of banks. Let's go. Money problem number 9. Help! I shopped at Target and they got hacked. Oh my goodness! Can we talk about this hacking thing? Every place is gonna get hacked. Sony got hacked. Oh my goodness. Whoa, this hullabaloo about Sony getting hacked. How ridiculous. Come on, people. If everything keeps getting hacked, why would you think things wouldn't get hacked? That's just not smart. Okay? Of course it got hacked. Target will get hacked. Walmart will be next. And somebody else will be next, and somebody else will be next. But here's where Bitcoin solves this problem. Bitcoin is a push ecosystem, whereas credit cards are a pull system. I know this is a lot of information that I'm giving you, and I know it's probably sounding like a lot. It's really not, and it's really so easy for you to, start to really understand it once you start using it. With Bitcoin, you push the value to whomever you choose without giving anyone access to your value and identifying info. By the way, in the Bitcoin ecosystem, hackers are paid to secure the network. Yeah, we pay hackers. We say hack away, and we pay them. I mean, what better way to deal with hackers than to get some hackers on your side? I mean, it seems like a smart idea to me. If everything's going to get hacked, you might as well work with people who are great at hacking and get them on your side. That seems smart to me. Work with the hackers, go with the flow. Don't try to say, this is never going to get hacked. This is never going to get hacked. This is never going to get hacked. Who cares if it gets hacked or doesn't get hacked? I mean, eventually everything is probably going to get hacked because there was a smart enough person to figure the thing out. There's going to be a smart enough person to deconstruct the thing. So what's the difference between a push system and a pull system? Credit cards work on a pull system, pull, right? So this is what it's like. You go to the store, you go to Target, you swipe your card at Target. When you swipe your card at Target, you're not just swiping your card. When you swipe your card at Target, you are giving them your name, your address, your date of birth, more than likely, where you live, which bank, complete access to the bank account that is associated with, or the account where we won't even call it a bank account, we'll call it an account where you have value because you want to give some value to Target for the value they're giving you, right? So this value, they're going to now pull the value. You're giving them permission. I'm giving you permission, Target, to come into my value store where I keep my value and pull out $20 for this transaction, $200 for this transaction, whatever it is. It's a pull system. So you're giving them the permission to pull from you value. Bitcoin doesn't work that way. Now, here's an example. I was thinking to myself, how could I make this really easy to understand? Here's an easy way to understand it. Let's say I come to your house and I want to borrow a spoon. I'm cooking and I need a long-handled wooden spoon to stir my spaghetti and I don't have one. I'm going to go over to my neighbor's house. I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to ask you for the long-handled wooden spoon. Would you say to me, oh, sure, neighbor, come in my house. Yeah, the spoon isn't here. Come in here and get it. I don't even know where you keep the spoons. Why would I even just go in your house and wander around looking for a spoon? May not even know where your kitchen is, but that's what you did. You gave me access. You threw the door open, and then let's say you left and you threw the door open and you say, yeah, go in and get the spoon. Because I said I was only going to take a spoon and you believed me, you let me in. Well, what if right behind me and then you left? Okay, now I have access. Now I walk around in your house, I'm looking for the spoons. Oh, where's the kitchen? So I'm finding my way to the kitchen. Okay, now I've got to look through the drawers. Where do they keep the spoons? Okay, I get the wooden spoon. What if there was someone right behind me, unbeknownst to me, that was a hacker? You know, hacker, a person. I didn't know they came in. Maybe they came in because they saw the conversation we were having. They saw how you just gave me full permission to go inside. They came in right on my heels, and they didn't just get a spoon. They went into the bedroom and looked through and got some jewelry. They went in and da 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 da. What's the difference? In a push system, as Bitcoin is, I hold my Bitcoin value. You hold your Bitcoin value. If I want to send value to you, I don't give you access to come into my house and take what you want. I push the amount of Bitcoin to you that I want you to have. If it's $25, if I want you to have $25, I will push $25 to you from my store. Do you see how that works? Very different. And if you really get that fundamental difference, you will never be, every time I swipe my card now, I am just thinking about Bitcoin. I'm just thinking about Bitcoin. Like I could just be pushing somebody Bitcoin right now rather than giving them access to the storehouse. That's how it works. And when you really understand the difference between a push system where you stay in control and in charge of your finances, and a pull system where you're giving Target and Walmart and Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and all these places where you use your card, you're giving them all permission to come into your house. And you're hoping that they'll just go in the kitchen and take a spoon. Back on soft screen share. Please, please, please comment. I gotta hear from you. I've gotta hear from you. Give me your questions. Give me your comments. All right, we're going back on present mode, and y'all are doing good hanging with me in this class. So that's the push versus pull ecosystem. You will never have that Target hacking thing ever again. You'll have different, I'm not saying that Bitcoin doesn't have security issues. It's like everything. Would you leave a $100 bill in the middle of the street on Times Square and come back and expect to find it? Probably not. Anything of value, you will secure it. That's just a simple truth of life. Number 10, money problem number 10, help, I live in a shady, pardon me, 10. Help, I live in a shady country where money is losing value quick. Ooh, yeah, that happened in Zimbabwe. $1 trillion bill with Zimbabwe. Bitcoin is deflationary. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence ever. This makes it deflationary. That means it acts like gold. Fiat currencies are inflationary. They lose value with every new dollar printed. So in this scenario, some currencies have become completely useless, like the Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill. Oh my God. Could you imagine a $1 trillion bill to get whatever you wanted to get? Now, before we go further into how you can really, really, really understand this, I want to hear from you. So I'm going to go over here to our page where we've got questions. Okay. Hey, Sammy M. Do you get a debit card for a Bitcoin account? How can you access it to spend on day-to-day things? That is an excellent question. Thanks so much, Sam, for that question. That question is excellent. So a Bitcoin card, a debit card for a Bitcoin account, and how can you access it to spend on day-to-day things? I'm going to answer that question. And then, hi, Alexis McGee, I believe it's Alexis, right? I am watching. I just don't understand where I go to ask a question. So anywho, how you earn, make, or get Bitcoin. Excellent question. How to earn, make, or get Bitcoin? Excellent question. So we'll answer those two questions right now. All right, so I'll come off screen share and we'll get down to those answers for you. Okay, and you were in the right place to ask questions, because right there in the chat where you're watching this on Google Plus, right there in the chat is where you put in questions. So first, to Sam's question, how about a Bitcoin debit card? Bitcoin debit cards are not actually required, because you can simply send value from one address to another address. So in practicality, if you think about it in terms of sending an email or sending an SMS message, that's as easily as how you can transfer money from one place to the other. Now, if you want to use it to buy day-to-day things, you can use services. There are services that allow you to transact in Bitcoin a little more easily. And one of those services is Coinbase.com. And I have quite a few Bitcoin accounts, because I like to see what different accounts do. And because I teach it in the Money and Wealth Coach Training Program, in Money and Wealth Coach Training and Certification, the coaches learn all about it. And they actually transfer themselves off of fiat currency to Bitcoin. So if you want to transact in Bitcoin easily, you go to companies that accept Bitcoin. So right now, Dell accepts Bitcoin. There are many, you can buy airline tickets in Bitcoin, and PayPal also just made a deal, sort of, where they will be accepting Bitcoin payments. So if you have, and PayPal will have that up and running soon. So if you are a person that uses PayPal, you can actually use PayPal to transact in your Bitcoin. Now, I would say that in order to buy day-to-day things, it's a good idea to have a couple of different kinds of Bitcoin accounts. You can have a Bitcoin account that you use for like tipping, and I recommend for that changetip.com. And changetip.com also has a wallet, and for Bitcoin, it's very important to have a wallet, so to hold your Bitcoin. So you either have a wallet online or you have a wallet offline. And a wallet offline simply means that you have, it's called cold storage, and I don't want to get too much into the technicalities of this to keep class really simple, but it simply means that you have printed the code that gives access to your Bitcoins, your value. You've printed it and you've taken it offline, so it's not on the internet anymore, and we call that cold storage. So now you have those Bitcoins in what's called a cold storage, and it's now printed on paper, your keys or whatever it is, and these keys say that you own this amount of Bitcoin, and you can even put them in a safe deposit box. I know people that put their Bitcoin cold storage wallets in safe deposit boxes, because here's the deal. What we've learned about Bitcoin. We do not have many years of securing things online, because the internet is only 20 years old. We do, however, have a lot of experience as humans, as a human race, in securing things offline, because we've been securing things since, caveman days, when he dug a hole and put an old raccoon in it or something like that to hide it from the woolly mammoth or whatever, and covered it over with dirt and put a rock on top of it and marked the rock, and then he knew where to come back to get his raccoon for dinner or whatever it was. So we know how to secure things physically, and physical storage, we're much better at it than we are at physical security. We're much better at it than we are with internet security. So that's kind of a long explanation. But if you want to buy things in Bitcoin, the best thing I would say to do, the very best thing to do, is try it. You've got to start using it, because when you start using it, you'll see how easy and seamless and swift it's. What amazes me as a money gal who used to work in financial markets and I've moved lots of money. And the money that took longest to move are old 401k accounts, old retirement plans. That some of them have taken months to move that money. Why would it take months to move money in the internet age is beyond me. It did. That's what no competition in the financial markets looks like with the oligarchy. So the best way to really see how you're going to be able to do all this trading is to actually buy some Bitcoin and try it out. So the best way to buy Bitcoin, to go to Alexis McGee's question, how do you actually get Bitcoin? Well, there's 3 ways to get it that I recommend. One is that you offer a service and you actually have people pay you in Bitcoin. So if you offer a service and you have people pay you in Bitcoin, that's one way to get Bitcoin. So let's say you're a coach, offer a Bitcoin option. Simply open a simple Bitcoin account like blockchain.info, coinbase.com. I'm not recommending these. I'm simply sharing information, and it's up to you to do your due diligence on each one of these so you know which one suits you most as financially, okay? And for your security. I have to put that disclaimer out there so we'll know to really do your due diligence. However, if you set up a simple account and you just give people the address, just like you saw on my website, the address is all that's needed. And we can send you Bitcoin, and people can send you Bitcoin to pay you. So that's one way to get Bitcoin. Number two, people will simply give you Bitcoin. So ask for Bitcoin. There was a story about somebody who put their Bitcoin address in a tweet and tweeted it out to all their people, and they got something like $50,000 or something like that. Now, I don't know if the story is greatly exaggerated, and it could be that this person had a lot of Twitter followers and they were doing some kind of social experiment. Whatever it is, people will give you Bitcoin. So that's the second way to get some Bitcoin. The third way to get Bitcoin is change your fiat money for Bitcoin. Fiat currency means your dollars. So you can go to coinbase.com once again, and you hook your Coinbase account together with your bank account, and you transfer money in from your bank account to your Coinbase account. And once it's in Coinbase, then you can buy Bitcoin with it. And because it also has a wallet, you can now use the Bitcoin right there from that Coinbase account. So those are some ways that you can get Bitcoin. Of course, you can also, the fourth way is that you could meet up with people. I believe it's called localbits.com or getlocalbits.com, something like that. Search it out on the internet. And there are actually people in almost every town, major town, Bitcoin meetup groups that will actually do a physical exchange for you, that you meet up with them one-on-one, like in a coffee shop or something like that, and you give them dollars and they'll give you Bitcoin. Now, of course, this is all peer-to-peer. Of course, you want to know what you're doing. You want to trust the person. You want to know a little bit about that. So I don't recommend that for beginners, even though many people starting off with Bitcoin do that. Now, if you live in a place like New York, I've been to the New York Bitcoin Center. It's absolutely a great place to go, and you will be able to, with reputable people. There's a group, it's a meetup. You'll be able to meet up with people and exchange Bitcoin, fiat for Bitcoin. Next, let's see if there's any other questions before we end up class. We're already at an hour. This is incredible. This is incredible. I do want to let you know this Wednesday is an incredible day, because this Wednesday, we begin the next group of money and wealth coaches where we actually teach you all about this. We teach you how to be free. We teach you how to understand money, how it works, and we teach you how to be free. So we're going to go on screen share, and I'm going to give you some next steps, because remember I said to you, you've got to be able to take action, right? You've got to be able to take action. So where do we go from here? Let me make sure I've got the correct screen share. Where do you go from here? Bitcoin University. We teach Bitcoin University to our money and wealth coaches. There's simply 3 levels of Bitcoin University. You got to learn Bitcoin. What is it? You got to get some and you got to use it. That's the first level. In the second level that we teach you, you live Bitcoin. You start to free yourself from money slavery by choosing where in the world you'll live. You'll exit fiat currency if that's what you choose to do, and you can live on Bitcoin. It's not like going off the grid, because I don't like that whole going off the grid thing. It's not like that. Then you get to master Bitcoin. That means you get to be a teacher and a coach to others so that you can support them in being free too. There is nothing more rewarding than that. I do also want to let you know that you can host a Bitcoin University in your area. We will actually come, our team of coaches, and for an intensive day, we will do all 3 levels of Bitcoin for you in one day. Yeah, it's a lot. So if you want to host a Bitcoin University in your area, know that we will require a class of 25 to 100 students and the full scholarship for the host tuition. That means you, who is the host, pay no tuition. You get a full scholarship upon 25 or more paid students. And the tuition for Bitcoin University right now is only one Bitcoin or 497 fiat. And that's a limited time because most of the time it is more than double that for Bitcoin University. I want to also let you know that you can go to abundanceforall.info and discover more about Bitcoin University. And also to be certified as a money and wealth coach, I want you to come on over to our website, valerielove.com. And I want you from there to go to, as we showed you earlier, money. And when you click on the money tab, you will see there that you have the opportunity to become a money and wealth coach. I will tell you this, the group of coaches that we have coming up this January, amazing. So if you feel it anywhere in yourself, if you say, man, I really need to join that class, or even if you just have a question about the class, call 801-871-LOVE, 801-871-LOVE. And yes, the phone did kind of ring while I heard our Google Voice number going while we were in class. I got to tell you, I thank you. I love you. I am so grateful you were with me in this class. If it's up to me, every person on the planet will be free and will be abundant. And it's up to you and me to do that. Peace. Mwah. Thank God.